Hello Maygay fans. So we have here another M1a. What I've started to repair. Well, it's actually repaired now. I just need to cover stuff over, but I just wanted to show you this board. I don't do every board, as we know. I've done a lot. I thought we'd fix more boards than I've done videos for. I just pick random ones, you know, what are worth showing. So this is one from a guy that contacted me on YouTube called Leon, whose son Ryan was left it, I believe, by his great-grandfather, and it was from a Pink Panther, which his granddad had in the conservatory, I believe. So he asked me, please, could I fix this board for him? And, you know, to be honest, this is the board I probably took great pride in doing when it's something like this, especially for the story behind it. You know, a young lad, I presume a young lad, has been left it by his great-grandfather, and it was working, and then it wasn't working when he plugged it in. It's obvious why when I've seen the pictures of the board before it come. It's pretty sad, really. And then to see it, you know, working again is good. So, basically, it's all the usual track repair here. That's always a temporary thing I do, and I've slot that back into place when I know things are right. It just stays like that for now because it's easy to get out if I need it to come out. But basically, you can see all the work around here. I've had this slot out here. These are new. The dips on this are new. The diodes on this are new because it was all crusty around there. What seems to happen here with this battery for some reason is it's like a mushroom, I think, and it sort of froze it over because you have like the damage around here. And sometimes you can get the damage over here. Well, to be honest, you can get the damage anywhere. But it does seem to start here and like leave an area what's alright and then sort of like jump over here, and it got over here. So it's obviously been cleaned up first when it come and then everywhere patched in. You know, like over here, it's got over here a bit. And this one, has I ever replaced that one? I think I've replaced that one. Let's turn it over. Yeah. Can't always remember what I've replaced. There's so many boards. And you can see the back here now. This is quite bad. Look how close I've had to go. That's a bit of this cleaning up and all, because I can see bits on there. I don't want any interference. But this is before I've covered it over. I thought I'd show this. And I'll show it again after. Yeah, I need to clean this up. There's bits everywhere. We don't want that interfering. But it's such a tender job to do this. You got to make sure none of these tracks, what are very close together, is touching any. And that wire there is what I've had to put in afterwards. Some people do that anyway without doing all what I've done here, putting it more direct to where it goes. But I only do that if I have to. And what happened there was I'd repaired everywhere what I thought was broke, put all the shits back on the other side, then found out I'd met 60. And then we're tracing with the meter what was broke. We found out it was this here, so I thought, I'm not taking all that off on the front again. It just makes no sense. So you just put, you know, I don't mind the odd wire like that. I don't like a billion wires, although I have done boards like that before. But here's an example of like a break where you could put a wire on the back like that. That I haven't. Where is it? This one here. You see that? That's just a piece of wire soldered onto the track with the missing piece in there, you see, and I've just soldered that on there like that. It's something you can do. And the same with over here. It takes time to do this, so you know, bending the wire. Is it focusing? Yeah. And adding it to the track what's already there. And it ends there, that. See, because that's where the broken bits are. So this does actually work. But I'm going to put the mask solder, well, the nail varnish on it first, what I use, and then we're going to show it working and just clean some of these bits up that's on it. Here's the back of the switches here. Now this top row here is all joined together and we had breaks in between there, so I've just basically soldered a piece of wire in there. Yeah, and that's really it. But yeah, I've took my time with this. You can't rush these boards. I mean, everyone wants to be able to just join a few things up and the thing comes to life. Yeah, we love that, you know, we love the thrill of it or whatever. But you need to, when you're doing a board like this, and this, believe it or not, is not one that I would say was really bad. People might think, no, God, you're joking, aren't you? But some of the ones I've done that's worse than this. This is average, I would say. Now, a machine company would definitely tell you this couldn't be fixed. But apparently I've got all the time in the world, as I've said 100 times before, which I haven't, by the way. So I can spend the time to do this, and I will spend the time to do this. I will spend the time, because I'm passionate about this, as everybody knows. And you can see that by what I've done here. But yeah, this is not what I'd call really, really bad. Time consuming, yeah. But it's bad when you've got to do this, what I've done here, everywhere on it. And I have done that, believe me. Well, the videos show it, don't they? So we'll have a look at this a bit later on. I'm going to show you with it all covered up, proper, and in the machine working. I've got the Pink Panther here, which isn't mine. Somebody offered me, well, asked me what I'd sell it for. It's not mine to sell, I'm afraid. It's just here at the moment because I'm using it for testing and got to do a few things to it for the owners. But yeah, we'll show it later on working in the Pink Panther, which is what is going in at the other end. So there we go. See you later. Okay, so we're back. It's a different day, of course. It was yesterday or the day before when I did the first half. So with me having other things to do, we've now coated over all the repair bits. As you can see, I've added wires and a battery. I've added, well, the diode was already there, I pushed it in. I've just put a little bit of shrink wrap tubing on that diode there because it's very close to some of the wires what I've laid out there, and we don't want that touching. That's not supposed to be touching that, and we don't want it shorting. I've added the resistor for the charge on the battery. And when I'd finished all this lot, and we tried it in the machine, it wasn't holding the battery. It was ram clearing every time, which is a sign that there's something wrong at the battery. And we found, where are we? That little track there was broke to this wire what I've put in, so I've just fixed that. And we're all good. So yeah, this was one of them, this story, it's got a great story to this board, from what I've been told. So, it was Leon that contacted me on YouTube because he's seen my other videos, and he said that his son has been left a machine by, I think, the great-grandfather from his mother's side, I think, if I'm correct. So great-granddad had this in his house, this old machine, the Pink Panther, and granddad died, unfortunately. We're sorry about that. And left the machine to grandson. And of course, they tried the machine and it's no longer working. It's pretty obvious why. You'll see from the first half of the video, it was damaged, wasn't it, from the battery, the usual scenario. Of course, if we sent this to a company, I thought they would have said that it can't be fixed, because there's an awful lot of work gone into this. I was undecided whether this was bad or not, to be honest. First of all, it wasn't that bad, then it was, then it wasn't. And as I was going along, I was finding more and more things broken. Of course, I never start a board and not finish it. And I like to join the tracks back up exactly where they were, whereas you can put wires on the back, like that, everywhere. But I don't like to do that, because number one, it confuses me. If you put wires like that onto me, and then you go back another day, I forget where... I have to check all the broken ones to see which ones are fixed. You know, where if you do it track for track where they are, you can see what you've done. This is one I had to do afterwards, because I put all the front back on here and found that we had m1a. Now m1a is you know, alarm for the meters, which of course is down here to do with this lot. So I found that broken track there, and rather than take all that back off, it's just convenient to put the wire on the back there. So you can see it's all covered over now. It's had new dips on this and all new dip switches, like I said before, because it just passes from one side of the board to the other, this battery rot. I don't know if we can focus or not here. It's not seem to be focusing very well. I don't know if it's that light or not. Let's have a look. I think we can just about see this. I've put a piece of wire in there because they're all joined them, and there was a break there. Now this looks a little bit messy here, but it's just the heat from the soldering iron. I can always just wipe that off, to be fair. I don't usually bother. It just comes off with a bit of spray I've got here. But yeah, we've done a few things as well, like this wire I always put in if people seen it on the board from 12 volt to 12 volt, because it's got one pin that's not used, and it just takes a bit of pressure off the pin, because it does burn up that pin. Anyway, this pin here does burn up at times, so we've just put a wire in there to sort that. I've added the cap, what the manufacturer's missed off because it never had one. The cap to do with the boot up on the RAM. I always put that on if it's not got one on. And there's your new dip switches. So really, I've said most of what I've got to say about this in the first part of the video. There's rather a lot been replaced. It's that. It's had a new gal ship. All the wiring's been done, so these are new, that's new, that's new. We didn't have to do the real chips. The real chips usually always need doing, but they seem to be alright. Now we're going to test it here for another week yet, so because it can go wrong, of course, and we don't want it to go wrong while you've got it. I can't absolutely guarantee, you know, that something might not happen. Of course, you send it back if something's wrong, but your game card and your board, because you sent your game card with it. I'm just going to put this in the machine, by the way, and your game card is working as it should. So that's good. So the only thing that could be wrong at your end could be the power supply. I wouldn't worry about that just yet. The board is definitely the fault, even though I haven't got a crystal ball to say the power supply is alright. But you'd be very unlucky if it wasn't, and we can always help you through that. I won't leave anybody stuck. Not when I fix the board like this. You should just plug it in at your end and everything should be fine. It isn't always the case, I have to warn you, but I think them pins could do with a clean up and all for that power supply. They're a bit dull looking, a bit groggy looking. Right. So of course the machine at your end is the Pink Panther. Oh, I didn't mention this actual board is going in the Pink Panther, and it was Leon that contacted me, the lad's father. The kid, I believe, is called Ryan. So Ryan, the machine at your end, which is yours, left by your great-grandfather, is the Pink Panther, which is what this one is. This is not mine, by the way. I've been offered, people have offered to buy this off me. Yeah, I'm afraid it ain't mine to sell. It's just a work in progress here, this. Right, so where's your card? I mean, I've got one for this machine, but this is your Pink Panther card. Okay, so let's just put that in. And let's put this in. Right, now we know what happens here. Now the usual magic moment. It's going to ram clear first, so you'll hear an alarm, I should think. Yeah. Well, that's what you want to see. Now that ram clear will do that at your end as well. It should only do it the first time. It was doing it all the time before on every switch on, like I say, because that trap was broke up here. It'll do that the first time in your machine, then it should settle down, and then that's the battery weren't holding charge. You know it is now. So well, let's just go around the front here now so we can see. I don't know why the focus on this ain't very good. Right, there we go. So you know what, I ain't even got a pounder to try this. Oh yes, we have there. Oh, that's lucky, isn't it? Right, so let's put that in. So that's your card, that's your board. Oh, we're in. So I don't know whether Ryan's actually ever seen this working at his granddad's house, but you'll surely see it now when it gets up there to you, this board. Oh, we've lost. Right, so there we have it anyway, and I've missed a little bit of this story out as well. So I wanted to say that, you know, I do boards for arcades and all sorts at the moment. I'm not quite sure where this is getting sent to in the country, possibly the other end of the country, but I'm sure you'll give me the address. Well, you have to give me the address so I can send it to you. But the boards like this always give me great pleasure when it's a story like it is. You know, Grandad's left it to the kid, or the grandchild rather, and it's not working anymore, all very sad and everything. And it comes to me, of course, and I work my magic. And people have said before that I'm a genius. I'm sorry to disappoint, but it appears that I'm not a genius. It does take a lot of work, you know, to do these boards, and a lot of thought as well, a lot of hard work, a lot of hard graft. But I did an IQ test, and I'm afraid I only got average. 108, which is about average. These boards were only originally supposed to be done for myself, you know, and when I put my first video on, it was only supposed to be for me, because you couldn't find people that had fixed them, you know. So I'm pretty much started from scratch. I'm sort of self-taught, and I've had a lot of teaching though off Magic, who's also on YouTube. Magic is one of the best repairers I have ever come across. I bet Magic's IQ is about 140, I would say. There's nothing he can't fix, I would say. Fruit machine or other. You know, I only concentrate on these, and he has been such a great help to me. And he's such a great guy as well to speak to. And there's nothing he does